Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Joe Emilio Show. I'm your host, Joe Emilio, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. In today's episode, we're going to look at the petrol price. Is it going up or is it going down? We're also going to look at what happened in Tembisa, and we're also going to have a look at some of the headlines coming out. I mean, we're talking about things like the ANC wanting social grants, or should I say basic income grants, rather. And of course, other things like... is the ANC going to war with Netflix and Disney? All this and a lot more, ladies and gentlemen, coming right up. So stay tuned.
Jokes on you, because that's how I met my wife, okay?
Because that's the last time I go to a Christmas party with Cracker Thing. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It's a Monday evening. It is August the 1st. It is Women's Month, ladies and gentlemen, in South Africa. And it is the 1st of August. This is my birthday month as well, ladies and gentlemen. What I mean by that is my birthday is coming up in August. So, yeah, I'm probably going to do a birthday stream on my birthday, so look out for that. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, nothing much has been happening. I did say I was going to take a bit of a break from streaming, and I am. Even though I was going to take a bit of a break this week. Turns out, not really. But next week, yes, there will be a bit of a break. I'm going away pretty much from Friday. So I'll only be back on the 10th, which means after this week, ladies and gentlemen, the next time I see you will be at the next Say What show, which is next week, Thursday. So do be aware that there are no shows until next week, Thursday. Well, there are no shows, like there are shows tomorrow night and on Thursday this week. But after that, there's no show until Thursday. Sorry, I misspoke there. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, man, things are pretty good over here. I hope things are looking good on your side. Things are hunky-dory over here. It's been a bit of a long day. Sorry, I'm getting into it again. Sorry for not having a show last week on Thursday with the boys. Fortunately, I wasn't feeling too well. Seemed to be like a 24-hour kind of sickness or whatever. Just really wasn't feeling well. But I'm feeling much better now. And I'm here to hang out with you guys this evening if you're keen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to have a guest later on tonight. His name is Jason Gray, no relation to Christian Grey, and he is the owner of, or founder actually, of Aerosphere glasses. Very good, nice glasses that they make. I bought one. I bought a pair. This is their nanotech glasses that protect you from blue rays, or blue light rather, that emanate from your computer screens and TV. I wear these. I mean, this is pretty good. They do work. I do feel that my eyes don't strain as much, and it is actually easier to sleep. I was skeptical at the beginning, but they actually do work. It takes a week or two to really notice the difference, but they're great. They're really great, durable, and they've got new glasses that they're working on, and I'm not going to go into the details of what exactly they are because I can't explain it. So I figured, why not get the founder on, right, and talk about what he's doing, talk about Aerosphere, talk about why they could be the best sunglasses or glasses in South Africa, reasonably priced, by the way. And I would love to get my hands on a pair of the sunglasses, of the new ones anyway. They look very stylish, very awesome. But he's got other glasses as well. Link is in the description if you're interested to look. And I've also left a link in the live chats. If you want to check it out there, you can go also see what they're up to. There's a fundraiser that they're doing. If you want to give a little bit of cash, that's fine, just to help them reach their goal. But we're going to talk more about that later on in the evening. What's up first, ladies and gentlemen? Our headlines. And unfortunately, we're going to start with a bit of a sad one. This is 3 dead as angry Tembisa residents protest against expensive electricity bills. Like, I just want to say right off the bat, before we get into this, right, I think a lot of you have seen the protests. I think a lot of you have seen what's going on. Social media is full of videos of these protests, and it's, it's almost like right on cue, because guys like CRA, Big Daddy Liberty, and so on have been warning that there's going to be another protest, a big one. And could this be the beginning of what might be July riots 2.0? I don't know. I hope not. But this was definitely a big one, and not as big as July, but big enough where unfortunately 3 people were killed during these protests. And it sounds like they were killed by police officers, whether it be accidental or not. Allegedly killed by police officers. Whether intentional or not, it's unclear. But at least 2 victims were shot, and they had nothing to do with the protest. They were just doing their own thing that day. I will read what it says here. So, as you know, they were protesting against the price of electricity bills, which I don't blame them. Like, I mean, the electricity has gotten insanely expensive, and again, we don't get it. Like, there's load shedding happening all the time. We might have a bit of a reprieve now, but it'll be back. Anyway, so the first victim was allegedly shot by a Metro Police department while he was buying a cigarette at one of the shops in Mukulang, and another one was visiting a friend next to his house when he was caught in the crossfire after police opened fire. Not yet clear what happened to the third victim who died as well. So you see, it's heartbreaking to hear these stories, because these guys had nothing to do with, or these people had nothing to do with the protest. They were just minding their own business, doing what, they're just living their lives. And then all of a sudden, you're buying a cigarette and boom, the comedian in me wants to say joke, but it's not appropriate. But you guys can connect it, cigarettes and death. And yeah, it's sad, man. Like, and it's like this is being done on purpose. The amounts of money that even people who have jobs, who are blessed to have jobs, can't even afford to move out on their own. Majority of people who have jobs can't afford to move out on their own or move into their own place. And if they do move into their own place, it's a real shithole. Like 1 bedroom with the toilet right next to you kind of situation. It's horrible. It's a horrible situation. And there are few of us that are blessed to have a decent income and be able to live a middle class kind of life. And even for people like, the middle class, it's expensive. Electricity is expensive. And then on top of that, you don't even get electricity. Most of the time it is load shedding. I mean, this year alone, load shedding has hit. We've had more load shedding this year already than in 2021. So everyone keeps saying, "Oh, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better." No, it's not gonna get better. Cyril comes out, he talks for a little bit, and then he gives you empty promises, and then that's it. So anybody who wants to believe that it's gonna get any better, I got some news for you. But moving on with the next headline, this one's interesting, and I gotta be careful with what I say here, because this has to do with lockdowns. So everybody that got arrested, there's a time lockdowns and those stupid regulations were being implemented. People got arrested, because they weren't wearing their mask or they weren't doing certain things, and then they got arrested. Apparently, 265 people still face court for breaking lockdown rules. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Even though lockdown's over, right? But here's the real kicker, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the real kicker, all right? Persons charged with offenses related to contraventions in terms of the state of disaster regulations may be paid admission of guilt. May have paid admission of guilt. And those dockets would not be sent to NPA, except if the admission of guilt fine may have been set aside in terms of section whatever legislation, right? So, in other words, some people, depending on what it was, could pay and basically not have to be prosecuted or have a criminal record or whatever, right? And I mean, this, you gotta think to yourself, like, doesn't this sound like extortion? It's like I get arrested. Okay, so let's say I get arrested, right? And I'm not, for whatever reason, doesn't matter. Whatever happened in lockdown, they said, hey, you're not doing that, so we're gonna arrest you, right? I go to court. I say blah blah blah. Look, I'll plead guilty, but or they tell me you can plead guilty, and if you pay us, we'll let you go. That is so insane. And all the government's doing is just making more money. So right now, the government has 256 opportunities to make money. I don't know how much these fines are. I mean, they probably look at you and assess whether or not you have money or not. But they'll charge you something. They'll make money off of you. Like, it's amazing. And I just thought I'd put this out there. There's no information on which or specifics on who's going or like there's no names or anything like that. There's not even like progress. But yeah, I mean, all of you out there must be thinking, what the hell. But anyway. So that's that. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is this little thing. Well, it's not little. It's actually quite important. Government can afford basic income grants at cost, says Gadangwana. And he's the finance minister. I'm not even going to listen to this video because I can see there's like a SACP guy and it's just going to be a whole lot of BS. But apparently, Enoch, our finance minister, right, says that government can afford a basic income grant, but it will come at a cost, according to Enoch, who's finance minister. The Subcommittee on Social Transformation is proposing the introduction of a basic income grant of $350 every month, which is like a slap in the face, right? I mean, I'm not saying I want the social income grant at all. I really don't. I'm not saying we should have not the social income grant, the basic income grants, right? I'm not saying we should have this. It's a bad idea, okay? But even if we were to have it, 350 Rand is like we just saw, right? The first headline was people protesting because electricity is too expensive. 350 Rand isn't enough for even 1 month's supply of electricity, okay? I mean, it could be maybe for some people, but for most people who have families, no. It is nowhere near enough. That's just the electricity. Forget about your rent. Maybe you own a car, you have petrol expenses, food, right? Maybe you have internet. How is 350 rand. I mean, it's so stupid. It's like a waste of money. It really is a waste of taxpayers' money. And that's the thing. Taxpayers are gonna. People are like, oh, it's free. No, taxpayers are gonna pay for it. We are taxed to death in this country, and even the finance minister says grants are expected to top a massive 1 trillion rand within 3 years. He said the fiscus, can afford to do so at cost. Okay, that's a bit of an oxymoron to me. How can you say, yeah, no, we can afford to, but it's going to come at a cost? That means you can't afford to. Affording something, being able to afford something means you're not going to lose anything. Means it's not going to come at a cost. And you don't have to sacrifice anything. Oh, no, we can afford it. I can afford to go to Disneyland today. Yeah, I can. Because it's not going to, I don't have to sacrifice anything. I can afford it, right? But no, it's not what this guy says. He says, no, we can't afford it, but we're going to have to sacrifice something. Because it means we're going to have to cut a number of social spending, cost reduction, somewhere to fund it. And it's funny he says this, right? Because basically, not to, like, this is another headline also to do with the basic income grant. The ANC wants wealth tax to pay for new basic income grant. And the gist of this is basically this. The majority of wealth in this country is in the hands of the 5% of the population. That's not right. We'll have to have SARS look into a wealth tax. Yes, it's true that a very small amount of people, the 5% people, own a lot of wealth. Okay? That is true. But you tax these people and watch them leave, which is probably what the ANC wants. But the thing is, the ANC thinks that, if these guys leave, they'll leave their money here. No, they're gonna put their money offshore. They're gonna make sure that they don't pay the tax, and then they're gonna leave, and then we're not gonna have investments or anything, and then we're gonna become an even poorer nation. The thing is, right, and this is the problem with lefties and also a lot of people that think that the basic income grant is a good idea. It would be a good idea if South Africa was a first world nation. Okay, if South Africa could afford to give a basic income grant, I still wouldn't necessarily be for it. But on the other hand, if we can afford to do it, then why not? I guess. I don't know. What I do know is South Africa can't afford it. I mean, if you're saying, we got to cut some expenses here and some expenses there, you can't afford it. But we all know at the end of the day why the ANC wants to implement the basic income grant and why it's 350 rand, not 1,000 rand or 1,300, right? Even though there are some organizations pushing for that. Because they want to milk and steal every last cent out of this country as they possibly can before their days are numbered or up in 2024. That's all it is, guys. We are witnessing right now the biggest heist in human history, possibly. And it's happening right in front of us. They're actually telling us what they are doing. And I'm not saying that this 5% taxing thing is going to happen 100%, but this is what they want to do, right? This is what they want to do so that they can afford to give social or basic income grants to everyone. And I know a lot of you are going to be saying, yeah, but don't you want that, Joe? Don't you want to help the poor? Yeah, I want to help the poor. But you help the poor by other ways, by not making it so difficult for businesses to hire people, by giving people a proper education so that they have the skills to do the job, and they can. And then there's competition, and everybody's competing against one another, and everybody's innovating, and everybody's working hard, and then money gets pumped back into the economy, and then boom, your economy grows and grows and grows. That's like the simplest version I can make right now. I'm paraphrasing heavily, but that's like the basic idea, right? But you need a good education system. You need a good or free market system, so that people can trade and do what they need to do, and not be restricted by the government red tape. And then on top of that, you need a secure environment to be able to do business. So, a good law enforcement so that people don't steal, so that people don't get hurt. Cash in transit heists need to come down. And then on top of that, probably the most important thing before we even get to any of the other stuff, this should be first on the list, fix the damn electricity. Let's just start there. And then maybe we can have a bit of a normal country. But until those other things are fixed, basic income grant is just a pipe dream. And if it is implemented, it will be the destruction of South Africa. But speaking of the destruction of South Africa, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering. No, actually, I'm going to get to that headline in just a moment. Sorry. Let's switch this around a bit. Okay, cool. So, here's an interesting headline. SA motorist transport operators will be hardest hit by proposed tire duties. They're going to tax our tires, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not making this up. Industry bodies warn that if duties, which is taxing, are implemented, the price of tires could increase by 17 and 41%. 41%, guys. So, I don't know. There's a whole lot of associations here that are doing things. And yeah. Is this live or unalive? It's live, my friend. Hey, Zach, good to see you. So there's a whole lot of associations here that want to do I don't know what, and one wants to impose a tax and undo. So basically, application for additional duties to be imposed on tires imported from China. Okay, so that's what these people want to do. And obviously, there's a lot of people in South Africa that don't want that to happen because they say that small passenger cars could pay at least 38% more. Heard a weird sound. 38% more, while the truck and bus sectors face an increase of 17%. Like, tires are already expensive, guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think for my little car, 4 tires are like 8,000 rand, and it's a small tire, right? So 40% more on that. That's crazy. It's almost like 15K, 14K to change my tires on a small economical car. I cannot imagine what it would be like. If if you have bigger tires like SUVs and buckies and all these others. And you know who's really going to be pissed off is the taxi people. The taxi people are going to be super pissed off. And guess what? There's going to be more riots. There's going to be more protests and violence and all that stuff. Yeah. So according to SATMC, Industry Insight, South Africa's domestic tire manufacturing industry generates sales of around 5.5 billion rand, and that was in 2021. Just an interesting fact there. I will say this. I want to also read this. However, so earlier in the month, a National Taxi Alliance announced that the national taxi fee increases up to 30% because of the rising fuel costs, and now they're going to have to worry about a tire levy. And however, the minibus taxi industry now warns that the anticipated increase in cost of tires could potentially offset the benefits that fare increases were supposed to have in ensuring the industry's survival. If tires go up by 41%, it will have devastating impact on our sector and on commuters who rely on us to transport them to and from work. I would 100% agree with that. Another thing I agree with is the guy from Road Freight Association, Gavin Kelly. Might get on my show if I can get a hold of him. So he's warning that the price increase is very bad for a number of reasons, and I think he's right. He warns that the price increase may force trucking industry to pass on these higher costs, which runs the risk of translating into higher food, medicine, and fuel costs for customers. Yeah, so we're not out of the woods yet, guys. So this also, I think, is important. Even more concerning is that vehicle owners, when faced with such dramatic cost increases, may trade down to second-hand or illicit tires, or simply delay replacing their tires, which places every road user at greater risk for accidents. That makes sense. He reiterates that these concerns adding to the operator may decide to trade down and buy tires of inferior quality as a way to cut costs, placing all road commuters at risk. So those final two paragraphs are very important, and I think he's right, because again, South Africans, a lot of them can't afford a car. And those that can afford a car, it's already barely roadworthy. I'm not saying all South Africans. I mean, like there's a very big gap in South Africa, and the gap is getting even bigger, right? The middle class is shrinking, and obviously the 5% people have enough money to buy tires, right? But the middle class, not so much, and then the poor people, yes, some of them have really nice cars, and they stay in a shack. I've seen it. I've seen a BMW M Series in front of a shack. Okay, fine, nothing wrong with that. Okay. All I'm saying is that person has to buy tires at some point, and they're not going to because they want to cut costs. And guess what? They have an accident, more death, more problems. Knowing the ANC, they'll blame it on alcohol when it has nothing to do with alcohol. It's actually the tires. It's just a kind of vicious circle. You see where I'm going with this? It's a vicious circle, just more and more destruction. So yeah, it is intense. And Rob Peters, thank you for joining and watching. He says that's what the communists want: destabilization and lawlessness. Oh yeah, I believe that. I mean, it's working. It's working. It's happening right before our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's happening right now. And I mean, speaking of ANC and communism. ANC wants to regulate Netflix and Disney Plus in South Africa. I mean, they just don't stop, do they? They just don't. They don't give a damn. I mean, I can't anymore. I can't. Everything they want to regulate, everything they want to just, control. And ANC has proposed that South Africa develop a governance framework that allows domestic broadcasters to compete on fair terms with players like Netflix, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime. How is it not fair? Like that's what I'm trying to understand. If there's a problem with a local online broadcaster, it's got nothing to do with talent, and everything to do with the policies that are implemented by the ANC and job opportunities and so on and so forth. So yeah. Don't worry, Joe. I will send anyone who wants cheap Netflix. Ah, man. This includes regulations of local content requirements and taxation. There's the magic word, ladies and gentlemen, of the day. Today's word is taxation. Oh, man. It really, this is all that's going to happen is Netflix, HBO, Apple TV, all these guys, they're just going to leave. That's it. They're just being, okay, well, we'll just stop we'll just stop. You know, we'll just stop broadcasting in your country. So watch Netflix and Disney TV, Disney Plus, and all these other guys while you still can, people. So yeah. So this channel would. Oh, okay, so gave her feedback. ANC proposed governance framework, suggesting that SABC must provide a South African history channel. Oh right, okay. So the broadcast that channel that is owned by ANC themselves, allegedly, need to make a history channel. Okay, I'm sure that's going to be so unbiased and it's going to be the true history. I'm 100. Yeah, no, that's going to work. This channel would also develop educational programming about African continent's history. Oh yeah, no, that's going to go well. No shady stuff there. Streaming services will not provide us with that. No. Streaming services won't provide the narrative that you want to share. Ergo, you don't show it. We have no control over their content requirements. Okay. Content requirements. I don't know if this lady has watched Netflix or any channel for that matter. But if you go into Disney Plus, there literally is a playlist called Black Hollywood. Okay. Now, okay, fine. That might be in regards to Black Africans in USA. But what I'm trying to say is, she said now that we have no control over their content requirements. I'm trying to say that Disney Plus and Netflix, especially Netflix, are okay with having other countries contribute content to their platforms, especially Netflix. As a matter of fact, there is a South African produced Netflix series right now on Netflix. There are South African comedians right now on Netflix. Okay? There is no issue with the content. Maybe you just need to research with it. Yes, the only thing that Netflix requires when someone wants to upload, for lack of a better word, their content to Netflix is you have to do it a certain way. You have to film it with a certain frame rate, with a certain 4K. It has to be this and this and this and this. It has to be this size and these requirements and blah blah. There's a specific checklist that you have to, check basically, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's to make sure that everybody has the best visual experience and standard as everybody else on Netflix, right? There is no problem. We have no control over their content requirements. Yes, you do. You have absolute control. All you have to do is make it to their requirements, send it to Netflix, and they'll be like, okay, there's a whole African Netflix situation happening right now. There is no issue. But you know what it is? It is code for we have no control over the content that they approve, right? So that's at the end of the day what it's all about, is that the ANC wants to be able to control what goes out. So South Africa could have international competitors to the domestic broadcasting industry that don't pay tax, have no license requirements, and have no local content obligations. Okay, again, no local content obligations. This is not true. Netflix is making there's a Netflix headquarters in Africa. It's making African content, okay? The other stuff, though, is very telling because they don't pay tax. There's that word again. Have no license requirements. What license requirements do you actually need? This is just another way for them to make money, because they say, okay, you need a license to fly a drone. Guess who makes the money? Guess who makes money when you pay license to fly a drone for a shot that you want to have in your movie? Government makes money, right? So anyway, she said the European Union and the United States have successfully regulated video stream services. Yeah, but not to the extent that you have. They still have free reign. A lot of it too. Um, we must do the same in South Africa. I really want to know, like, this person's acting like Netflix is just absolutely destroying SABC. SABC was destroyed long before Netflix, Disney Plus, and all these other people came into the streaming. Like, I don't understand. Maybe again, if you had electricity in this country, right, and you had a stable electricity grid, right, maybe then people could make a online service or an online video service or whatever you want to call it, online streaming service that could rival Disney Plus and Netflix. You know, I'm not like African content is not bad. I'm not like I'm sure there's a huge market for it. Okay, I'm just saying when you've got issues of your own in your country that are preventing you from making certain things, from making videos, from making movies, all right? We just came out of a lockdown. The economy is terrible. The entertainment industry is suffering, which, by the way, ANC didn't help the entertainment industry in any way, shape, or form. Now you want to do this. This is all BS, man. This is just about tax and getting backhanded deals. The ANC policy position echoes complaints from DSTV operator MultiChoice. Oh, okay, now it makes sense. About the lack of regulation on international video entertaining giants like Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and BritBox. MultiChoice Group, blah, 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 said these global video streaming services must comply with BE. Okay. I should have read a bit more. Okay. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. That is the most important sentence of this article. These global video streaming services must comply with BEE, contribute to local content, which again they do, and pay tax in South Africa. I don't think I need to say more after reading that. I mean, now it all makes sense. Oh my word. It's got nothing to do with the because other countries have done it, so we must do it. They've regulated the video streaming. No, they don't want to regulate it the way the international people have. They want to just make money. That's all it is. That's what I said at the beginning of the stream. The ANC is going to milk South Africa for every last cent that it has, and here's another way they're going to do it. I'm telling you now, if they start taxing and putting all this red tape for these guys, these giants, they're just going to pull the plug. Like, look at what Starlink, right? Elon Musk, Starlink. He's not doing Starlink in South Africa because South Africa was like, oh, you got to be 51% business black owned or whatever. And Elon Musk was like, no. Okay, well then I'm not going to do it. Like, yeah. Netflix announced that in March it would have invest over 900 million rand in 4 South Africa-based productions over the next few. See, they are contributing to the local content. These include 1 international and 3 local productions filmed in South Africa between 2022 and 2023. The National blah, blah, Project Panda, blah, 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 has already produced the South African titles on its platform. Yes, okay, so now you're proving what I was saying. Yep, there it is. Lisa Gola is a South African comedian. Ludic, yep. Show co-produced by blah, blah, blah. Amazon Prime is also slate Afrikaans films and shows on its platforms, which appear to be mainly acquired by Namibian production companies. MultiChoice. Okay, so although MultiChoice and the ANC agree that South Africa should impose regulations on streaming service, the governing party also has DSTV in its crosshairs. Okay. Ooh, Super Sport. Ooh, here we go. They're gonna go after the sport now, guys. Ooh, that's a tricky one. That's because if Super Sport pulls the plug, people, then you will see riots worse than the July riots. The party said sporting bodies should not sell broadcast rights exclusively. Okay. Also said that SABC should broadcast all sports of national interest, of course. Of course. Of course. Why? Because sports is one of the most watched forms of entertainment. SABC is struggling. And they get more views, they can make more money. Wow. Against Supersport in July over sub-licensing restrictions that block state-owned broadcaster from showing matches on satellite and online streaming services. Supersport is at war with ANC. Anyway, this was actually a far more interesting article than I thought it would be. Zach, I couldn't agree with you more. I wish that was the case. I wish we could make that happen. Exactly. 100% correct, Matthew. I have no disagreement whatsoever with you on that one. All right, final headline, ladies and gentlemen, before my guest joins. Official petrol price decreases for August. So I thought I'll try and end with some good news. It's sort of good news. It's like it could be better, but it's okay. So petrol is going to decrease in August for us. It looks like inline prices are coming down by a maximum of 1.32 cents per liter, whereas diesel prices are dropping by 99 cents per liter. Blah, blah, blah. We're taking back all fuel prices in the country from 2nd of August, so tomorrow. Official price adjustments next month, according to blah, 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 are as follows. Boom. So, petrol 93 decreases 1.32, 95 1.32, diesel, so on and so forth. These price drops are coming into effect this week on Wednesday, the 3rd of August. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, here are your new prices for petrol. Still high, don't get me wrong, still freaking high, but a little bit better. I was on half tank today. I filled up my car for almost 750 rand at half tank for little 10 grand, man. I used to fill up my tank on 600 rand from empty. It's crazy. So Mark Trujan, thank you so much for tuning in, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Says these services will just pull out. That's what I said. Oh, they will. They will. But anyway, that's some good news for you guys. Joe drinking water, real good ASMR shit that. Yeah. Remember the days of 15 rand per liter? Dude, I remember the days of 10 rand per liter. 9 rand per liter even. Yeah. I remember those days. Those were the good days. Good times. Yeah. Absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, some other news I'd actually like to share with you guys. Coming up, actually, tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Very exciting show happening tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to get a bit hairy because tomorrow, these are my guests, ladies and gentlemen. Koketso Rosane, Nolu Maki, and Big Daddy Liberty will be on the show tomorrow evening from 8 p.m. We're going to be talking about absent fathers and the problem with absent fathers, specifically in South Africa, why absent fathers are a problem in South Africa, and what could we do to perhaps change that, and how it's affecting South Africa, how it may contribute to poverty, how it may contribute to crime. And yeah, this is a topic that I know some people are going to have are going to be triggered with. But it's a conversation I think that needs to be had, and more people need to talk about it, because when we start talking about these kinds of topics, hopefully things start to change because people start to think. And I don't know. I'm not saying that this stream is going to change the world, but I think it's an interesting conversation. I'd like to get to the bottom of some of the issues that happen with absent fathers. It's going to be definitely a very interesting conversation. So you don't want to miss it. Once again, Nolo Maki, Koketsu Rosani, and Big Daddy Liberty, also known as Sikle Inkopasa. Inkopase? I call him Inkopasa. Inkopasa. No, that's not how you say it. But Inkopese. It doesn't matter. Sikle, Big Daddy Liberty is going to be on the show. Very much looking forward to having Sikle back on, and Nolo and Koketsu. It's going to be a great conversation. So you don't want to miss that, ladies and gentlemen. Then, the following week, no, sorry, not the following week. Obviously, it's this Thursday is Comedians Roast the Headlines. The following week, ladies and gentlemen, next week I'm going to be off. I am away, so I won't be streaming. Then there will be the only show next week is Comedians Roast the Headlines. Then the week after that, ladies and gentlemen, exciting guest on the show. The one, the only Mr. Daniel Eloff. For those of you who don't know who Daniel Eloff is, he was my lawyer in my defamation case. And we're going to be talking about defamation in general. Things to look out for. What is defamation? What is the process like? What are maybe some, how do I say, false ideas about defamation? And is it worth it? We're going to be talking about all this and a lot more about defamation, and that's going to be a very interesting one. That's literally 2 weeks from now, ladies and gentlemen. So the 15th of August will be that show. You don't want to miss it. And you know what? The 16th, that's a Tuesday, so 2 weeks and a day from today is my birthday. So there's going to be a birthday stream. You guys get to hang out with me. Only going to do an hour. Just hang out with you guys for an hour. No guests and nothing. Maybe guests can call in. I don't know. I'll see how I feel on the day. But yeah, that will happen on the 16th of August. And then, of course, that week will be Comedians Roast the Headlines. I don't know why I'm so thirsty today. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait for the guest to arrive, let me also explain who the guest is tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The guest tonight is a interesting guy. His name is Jason Gray. He's the founder of Aerosphere glasses, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a pair myself. I think they're fantastic. He's got some new glasses coming out, and they sound very fancy. And I thought, hey, he's also busy trying to raise funds, basically to get this project off the ground. I thought, hey, why not bring this guy on the show? Let him talk about these glasses, why they're so special, and why they could be South Africa's best glasses. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Chatting to him. He's a cool guy. It's not going to be about politics or anything like that. Different kind of vibe. And no, it's not going to be a conversation where he, tries to sell you this stuff. I'm literally going to ask him about his business, how he got started, why he's doing it, because I think it's a very interesting, he's very passionate about glasses, like sunglasses and stuff like that. Like, why? It's a very interesting kind of thing. So I'm going to ask him about that. I'm going to ask him about how he got started with the business, because he's a pilot. That's like the crazy part. I think he's a pilot. Something like that. He's got something to do with a pilot in this story. I know that. Let me actually see. Yeah, so I'll show you guys the website once he's on. But yeah, there we go. By Jason Gray, a helicopter pilot turned entrepreneur. So a pilot decides to make glasses. I want to know more. I want to know more. So, um, I don't know. Matthew's going on a tangent again. I like your red hoodie, Joe. I'm wearing blue hoodie. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a red hoodie. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that. And I just saw now. He's actually advertised the show on the website that he's going to be on the Joe Emilio show, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, yeah. So Ray-Ban only in sunglasses aviator. Look, Ray-Ban's pretty good, man. Ray-Ban's pretty good. But this guy, I mean, he's got attention to detail. Look, again, I'm not gonna go into it. I'm gonna wait for him to come on. He's the founder. He'll know better than I will how to explain his glasses and why they're so special. So yeah. Which is pretty cool. Let me see what happens if I say click this show. Okay, so it does go there. I'm just So we're just gonna have a bit of fun, man. Get to know this guy, and if you enjoy what he has to say, then you are welcome to help him out and contribute a bit of money to his new project, and we're gonna talk about that as well. So yeah, I'm just waiting for him to join. He should join in the next few moments. And then we're going on a quick break while we get set up. And then we're back with Jason Gray, ladies and gentlemen. No relation to Christian Gray. Just by the way, like no relation to Christian Gray. He'll be joining us in just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So now that you know what is coming up, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's some pretty cool guests coming up. Tomorrow, once again, going to be an interesting conversation. You don't want to miss out on that. I love these guys that are coming onto the show. Nalo Maki, Big Day Liberty, and Koketsu Rosane. Really cool people. And then, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you guys. Oh, yes, of course. You'll see a ad. I'm sure you guys have already seen it. My one-man show is coming up. We are pretty much just over a month, ladies and gentlemen, and tickets have already sold. I'm so ecstatic. It's amazing to me that tickets have already started selling. Thank you guys so much for those of you who already bought tickets. It's outstanding. Cape Town never buys in advance. Like, I've been doing shows for such a long time. I've never had pretty much 25% of the tickets sold already. It is insane. Thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me. I'm so looking forward to the show. I was hanging out with Barry Hilton this past weekend. We did a bit of workshopping on the script and stuff like that. He gave me a few pointers. He directed. He did his directing. And the show is looking great. He's happy with it. I'm happy with it. It's just a matter of putting in a little bit more work, getting some other things just fine-tuned, if you will. But it's going to be a fun evening. So please, buy tickets because they're going to go quickly. I'm telling you now, if they're already selling. I just got a message just now from someone saying that their friend just bought 2 tickets. I can't believe it. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. It really means a lot to me that you guys are buying the tickets. It's great that you are, and I can't wait, man. And there's not a lot of space, by the way, on the show evening on the 3rd of September. There's only about 55 seats available, if that. I think that's like the max. So and already, I think 12 or 13 tickets have been sold. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. Again, for Cape Town to buy so much in advance, or ahead of the time, it's pretty cool. So thank you guys so much for buying tickets, and don't forget to get your tickets. Link in the description, ladies and gentlemen. Now I've got to go on a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. It probably won't be 5 minutes because my guest is already in the green room, just going to get things set up. So we're going to go on a quick break, a few announcements, and then we'll be back with Jason Gray, ladies and gentlemen, from Aerosphere, and we're going to find out why Aerosphere are the best glasses in South Africa. All right, we'll be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's break time. Don't go anywhere, I want to share some announcements. Firstly, as you saw, I have a one-man show stand-up comedy special. Please book your tickets as soon as possible. There is limited seating. Tickets also include a meal. Oh, and the show is directed by the legend Barry Hilton. Avoid disappointment and book your tickets now. Just follow the link in the description, ladies and gentlemen, where you will find all the information. And secondly, please consider becoming a member to this channel. It goes a long way to supporting me and the channel. And for as little as $60, you can become a member to this channel and get exclusive perks. Just check out the join button below for all the details. And if you don't want to become a member, that's absolutely fine. Don't forget that you can also donate by giving a super chat, or sasa chats as we call them on this channel, or you can use super thanks to also donate to this channel. All donations are greatly appreciated. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are just tuning in, don't go anywhere. This is just a short break. The show will be starting again shortly, so enjoy the rest of the show. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet already. Thanks.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and find.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Joe Media Show. I'm your host, Joe Media, and with me is my guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He is none other than Jason Gray, no relation to Christian Grey. Don't get too excited, ladies. He is the founder of Aerosphere, probably the best company with for glasses. And when I say glasses, I mean sunglasses, eyewear. In South Africa, and we're going to talk a bit about his business, what he does, how he got involved, and what he has up in store next. So, Jason, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic, buddy. A little bit cold here in Stellenbosch, but doing well otherwise. How are you doing there in Cape Town?
I'm good. I'm actually not too far from you. I don't stay too far from Stellenbosch, so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a really chilly evening here in Cape Town. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, anybody that's watching, anyone that's watching, don't forget, if you have any questions for Jason, feel free to pop them in the live chats. I will keep an eye, and I'll ask him questions from you guys. And a link to his website is available in the description below if you want to go check out his websites. But I think where we should start first, Jason, is tell us a bit about yourself, man. Like, I saw on your website you used to be a pilot, which I think is very interesting. So why the shift from pilot to glasses?
So I'm getting a little bit of a lag here, Joe.
Did you do what I told you about the arrows?
Yeah. Okay. So it seems to be back in track. But I'm currently a helicopter pilot. We're kind of in between contracts at the moment. So, but my speciality is Africa. So I work in North Africa, and I've been there for about 10 years. So yeah, but I've flown all over the world, flown tons of different machines, and actually that's where the aero from Aerosphere comes in. So it's quite a strong aviation background, and that's kind of, I bleat on in my emails about how important eyesight is, but I mean, it literally is, for me, it's it's the make or break of having a license. So that's kind of the background. Yeah.
Okay, and well, I know that if you want to be a pilot, you need to have pretty good eyesight. Am I correct in saying
Yeah.
that? Yeah. But
Yeah.
is that what led you to doing glasses? I mean, where was that jump?
I guess, I mean, if we go dial it right back, when I qualified, I remember the conversation I had with a buddy. I said to him this, so what's our clothing? What's our brand that we, as pilots, what's our kind of brand that we resonate with? And he said, well, there isn't anything. And I was like, well, that's kind of strange, because all the mountain bike guys have got Fox, and the motocross guys have got, Fox as well. And the surfers have got Quicksilver and a couple of other brands. And I was like, well, I would assume that pilots are a pretty cool bunch of people. Like, surely they've got a brand, that they can assimilate with. And so it kind of started there. And I was like, well, maybe we should start one. And we kind of played around with like a clothing brand called Road to Wear. And it kind of grew a couple of different heads. And long story short, we looped around and became started printing factory in Stellenbosch, and we started screen printing for customers. And on the side, we supplemented the brand in the downtime. And so we created this clothing brand called Aerosphere. We very quickly ran into some legal trouble there because the name was trademark registered. We tried to pitch it to the brand owners as we thought they were trying to run it as a sort of like a sports brand, a low-cost sports brand. And we said, no, you guys should run it as an aviation brand, and there's a big market for it, and you can do it as a premium brand. And apparently they had a big board meeting, which I was surprised at. And they came back to us and said, listen, it's a great idea, but if you move any further with that, we will take legal action. So we're like, oh, okay. So time for a name change. And so Aerosphere was born. And and then we registered that. And, we had a little factory near the Woodmill in Stellenbosch. And we built like a showroom, and we had this kind of concept store. It was kind of fun. We had like snowboards as coffee tables, and, we had things hanging on the walls, and we branded the crap out of everything. And and it I guess location wise, it was just a bit tricky for people to get to. So, that and clothing in itself is quite tricky. All SKUs that you've got to run. You've got summer, winter. Even if you just take it as simple as summer and winter, and then you've got male, female, small, medium, large, extra large. And then we'd create these what we thought were like kick-ass clothing, and people would love it, and they'd go, "Hey, man, this is awesome. Do you have it in a V-neck, or do you have it with long sleeves? Or I really like the sleeves, but can you make them smaller?" And so, and when you're kind of bootstrapping, to carry that number of SKUs was just, it almost broke us. And so I can remember sitting down with a brand ambassador at the time, and I said to him, listen, we're at the crunch point here. We kind of need to think about this, And he said, well, kind of sort of raising with California and actually the UK. And so he said, well, let's try some eyewear. And so we were like, okay, cool. It was kind of a fun idea. And so we brought in some goggles. We didn't play around too much with the colorways. We just picked something that we thought resonated with the brand. And we brought the demos in, and we kind of posted it just kind of nonchalant on Instagram, and it sold out in 30 minutes. And everybody looked at each other and were like, okay, I think we've hit pay dirt here. And so since then we pivoted into eyewear, and it's kind of been we haven't looked back. It's a product that's easy to ship. It's robust. It's sturdy. People treat it as a piece of equipment rather than a fashion accessory to a degree. And then, I kind of feel like I'm yakking your ear off. I haven't heard a question in a while.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was kind of so we kind of developed two frames to start off with, and this is kind of I'll sort of lay a foundation of where we're going later in the chat, but we created two frames called the Black Hawk and the Marshall, and the Marshall was kind of aimed at the guys, and the Black was out the gate. We had some fantastic support from South Africans, and then we ran into a bit of a tricky situation. We started to have some frame breakage, and I'm not ashamed to say it was kind of like a learning curve for us. And so we started to really struggle with a particular frame, and then I realized really quickly, that frame material became a real issue. We had to learn very quickly there.
Thank you, Cameron. Let's see. Let's see what's going on here. There we go. Sorry, Jason. Don't know what happened there. But you were talking about where we lost you is you were talking about the glasses and the men and the female. Ooh.
Pretty unique view on how the array needed to look. We didn't want to have a generic frame that you kind of, just color usually here and all there. We definitely push people in a direction. We've come up with some customers that like a really different customer base. So they don't take any BS. They know what they're looking for. They feel like it resonates with the brand, and so yeah, and based off of that, frames have that same signature feel. So a couple of things, like the cheekbones. The cheekbones are always raised. The ends of the frames are always raised. We always go with a matte black frame. We didn't add any gloss. We wanted the lens to be the sort of key feature. And so there's a time that ultimately we see ourselves as a lens technology company, and the frame is kind of the chassis for that. So we generally didn't tend to get too bent out of shape with the frame style, but we really wanted to introduce the lens technology. And so when we were kind of going through that teething phase with those two frames and kind of learning the customer care, we quickly realized that the lens
Okay, so we seem to be having a bit of technical issues. Yes, I saw that question, Cameron. I will ask it a bit later. Yeah, I am. Just 1 second. Let's see if we can sort this out. Sorry, Jason. Are you with me?
Yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah, no worries.
Seems to be a bit of an internet issue.
It's the program telling us. Yeah.
All right. So
The internet's trying to tell us, listen, guys, it's like super boring, very technical.
no, it's not. It's not boring at all. I think a lot of people are interested, especially like I said. You explained the whole pilot move over, which is also interesting. So, but you're still a pilot, so that's cool. A commercial pilot or helicopter or what?
Yeah, so commercial helicopter. Um, and yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of licenses, but the one that I was kind of running for the last while was based on the South African one. So yeah,
All
South
right.
African commercial.
Do you
Yeah,
own a plane or helicopter?
yeah. That is the plan, but we're gonna have to sell a bunch more sunglasses to get there. But yeah, no,
All right.
listen, I mean, when we can afford helicopters, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a very good day.
Yeah, well, hopefully, petrol price will be a little bit less when that day happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll probably be electric by the time we can afford one. But yeah,
All right.
it'd be great. It'd be a great thing.
All right. So, yeah, I was hoping you had some kind of plane or helicopter because then I would have been like, oh, can I get a ride, please? Yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I got to go to Joburg or to your next gig. I'll take you and Barry.
oh, that'd be great. He'll
Right.
love that. All right. So,
Yeah.
what we got some questions coming in, but I'm definitely going to ask you these questions a little bit later. What I really want to get
Okay.
into before we get disconnected again
Yeah.
is this project, a very important project that you got going on at the
Yeah.
moment, which people can go to your website and find out more about. But tell us about this project and
Yeah.
yeah, what you would like to happen with this project.
Yeah, so if I just kind of lay a foundation as to what the thinking was behind this is, I just recently started running, and so it was kind of like it was a very interesting learning curve because I don't feel like I'm designed. I'm not built for running. I didn't think I was anyway. A little heavy and a little thick set, and anyway, I got into it. It was super super interesting. It teaches you a lot about yourself. There's a lot there about endurance and actually there's a lot of counterintuitive knowledge that comes with it. But anyway, um, one of the aspects is the running shoe. And so I kind of got introduced to the Nike Pegasus and realized that there's like a significant history behind that product. And I've always been a big fan of Nike and their design and the sort of the thinking that goes into their products. And so I kind of delved into that Pegasus project of theirs for whatever reason. But it was very inspirational to me, and I was like, I loved the history of the product, and how it had been sort of over years, just refined and refined even more, and and to the point now where it's these shoes are setting records globally by different athletes, and I was and how much of an impact it's having on the sport. And I was like, that's a really cool legacy to have. Um, our Marshall frame was the first product that we sold out. It was kind of about 6 months ago. We sold out on that product, and I was really excited by the feedback we got from different customers. And I mean, to the point we had one of our brand ambassadors. One of the features of the sunglasses was it stuck to your head, like wouldn't go anywhere. And so he was like, well, let's put our money where our mouth is and let's go and test this thing. And so he took it surfing. He wanted to go and see if it could handle surfing. And it did. So it was fantastic. And so we were thinking, okay, cool. It's sold out now. It's time for a second generation. Like what features can we improve? And so we did a little bit of a tweak on the design, on the style. We kept some of the features like the grip, the stick, the nose has got some silicone nose pads. We went crazy with the frame material. We went for a German polymer it's a crazy polymer. It's fantastic, and we gave it a soft texture, so it doesn't shine in the sun. It's not gonna It's not going to glare. It's not going to stand out. It's just going to kind of sit there and do its thing. And so this is the second generation of that frame, and so we're running this fund to kind of get it into production. And I think there's a little bit of a Hail Mary move that we're going to pull, but I think we're going to get it funded. I think we've got about 6 days left now, and we're going to get it funded. We needed to get past the 50K mark to get it approved and funded, and so we're using a company called Thunder Fund, and it's an African sort of GoFundMe, if you want to call it, and somehow they connected with Standard Bank, and Standard Bank said, well, if you guys can get to the 50K mark, we'll match it. And we were like, well, that's incredible. That's an incredible offer, and we can't pass it up, and we've got to hit this 50K mark now. And so, yeah, like I said, I think there's a sneaky little Hail Mary move we're going to pull to get to the 50K. But we've had great support already, and some really awesome customers, we've got incredible customers that have just said they're with us, and literally they haven't felt a frame, they haven't picked it up. It's literally just been images, and they're so committed to working with us, and as their brand for the eyewear, that they've just kind of put money down, and it's an incredible story. These people that are just coming out and just supporting us. So it's fantastic. So I'm guessing we're gonna, in the next 6 days, we're gonna hit that number. We should get that sort of stipend from Standard Bank, and then that'll go straight into production, and then should be about 6 weeks, and we'll have that ready for everyone. So I'm super excited. I've worn it everywhere. I've worn it running. I've taken it flying. I've had it on the bike. I've taken it on walks. I've had it in like super cold weather. I've been rained on, and it doesn't lose a beat. It's a fantastic frame.
And it's sunglasses,
so
right?
I think everyone who's kind of put money down and pledged towards it. Yeah. But it's going to be, it's one of those, it's, like we do with most of our frames, except for the super sporty frame. Most of our frames can carry any of our lens technology. And so this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to have a second generation of our sellout frame. So the sellout frame was a Marshall. The new one coming through is the Mark II. And that's kind of what the history, we want to have a Mark II, and then we want to have a Mark III and a Mark IV, Mark V ad infinitum. But yeah, and so the idea is to challenge ourselves every time, is to make improvements on the frames and make improvements on the design and take feedback from customers and just incrementally make the frame better and better and better. So it's a serious challenge, because you've got limited material, you've only got a nose and 2 ears to kind of hang the thing on. There's only so much you can do, but I've been loving the frame. I've been wearing it sort of day in, day out. And I get really excited about it, because I've got, you can see behind me, I've got the choice of sunglasses I want to wear on a day. And I just keep going back to the Mark II, because it's so comfortable. It's silky smooth. It doesn't get in the way. And so the guys who've pledged, and, for future customers, I think they're going to really love it. So, and it's kind of fun to be starting that journey of like our version of a Pegasus. It's this second generation of that whole thing, but so it'll carry any lens technology. Yeah.
Fantastic. And those that pledge now, so I saw you've got like different, like people, again, they can go to the link in the description. They'll take them to the GoFundMe page that you have there. And there's a little video that I played just now, but you guys can listen to the video. But just very quickly, you've got different tiers, if I can put it that way. So those that give more than $100, those that give 1,000 rand. What are the benefits and the different tiers?
Okay, so we kept it super simple. We've got 3 tiers. We're going to run a product at 1,611 rand. That's going to be the retail price. Once it's provided our rand doesn't tank against the dollar. But it seems to be, it's kind of steady. So we're happy at the moment. It's going to be 1,611 rand. If you go tier 1, we're calling it visionaries now. People who see what they want in the brand and they see where we're going. Those visionaries, if they fund 1,200 rand or more, basically they're getting 25% off the retail price, and they'll get one of 50. I actually got the poster here. I'm going to do a crazy show and tell, but we've got the technical specs poster here. That's kind of what it looks like. And so there'll be 50 of those that we'll sign and send out to those first 50 customers. So it's a 1 of 50 or 10 of 50 or 45 or 50. So sign, thanks very much, so that they can kind of, it's be part of like the background story of the frame, and see like all the design detail that went into it. And then the second tier is anything above 400 Rand is kind of, we treating that as a deposit. So you put 400 down, the frame comes out, it's ready to go. We'll give you a call or give you an email and say, hey, but there's 800 Rand more to get your frame sent out to you. So it's kind of, we treat that as a deposit. And then the anything less than 400, we've just kind of said, we'll take that as a tip of the cap. Good luck, guys. I don't want to get a frame from you, but here's a bit of cash. I think you guys are doing a fun thing. Yeah, good luck. That's kind of, so those are the three tiers. Super simple. We didn't want to get too involved with it.
Yeah, and I really encourage people to be part of history for a young company such as yours, to be part of something pretty awesome. I mean, I've got your nanotech that I wear almost every day, pretty much, which protects the eyes from blue. Was it blue?
Yeah.
What's the correct term there? Blue something. But
Blue light.
Blue light. That's the one. Blue light from your screens and stuff.
Yeah, it's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. You can explain it.
So it's high energy. It's high energy blue light. Yeah. So it's kind of, blue light comes out of the sun, right? And it's a good thing. So our bodies are designed to kind of recognize blue light. It deals with our circadian rhythm, all that sort of thing. Great. And then came technology, and the tech pumps out irregular waves of these certain light frequencies, because obviously light is electromagnetic frequency. On the far left hand side is super high frequency, that's UV 420, that's the blue light. So it's high energy blue light. And there's two spikes in there. I don't have a graph to show you now, but basically you're dealing with these two serious spikes in the blue light zone. And that's kind of what our nanotech lenses deal with. And it just manages those, and it returns the amount of blue light your body's receiving back to what it should have been from the sun. So you're not having this artificial blue light at the point where your body's saying, but the sun's gone down and why is there blue light? And so your body's basically just going, okay, I guess the sun's still up, so we're not going to start getting ready to sleep. And that's kind of what happens is, people they'll have their phones on or until 10 o'clock at night, and it's only 2 hours later that the body's like, okay, cool, we haven't seen blue light for 2 hours now we can start the REM cycle. And so people say, like, and you'll notice it's kind of super simple. You'll notice that a guy will he'll be like, he's up till 10, he's doing some trading or whatever it is, and he's like, I put the phone down or I closed the computer at 10, I went straight to bed, but I feel like I slept 3 hours. And that's exactly right. So 2 hours after that exposure to blue light, then your body's like, okay, cool, we haven't seen it for 2 hours. Now we can REM, but we don't have the amount of time that you would normally have. And so you'll see a guy will just have like a Saturday off and he'll sleep till 12 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a guy who's being exposed to high energy blue light. He's not aware of it. And so these nanotech lenses, like the ones I'm wearing, because I don't need corrective lenses at all, but this is a blue light blocking lens. So basically it just kind of, I've met one guy, like in Namibia, and he's just like, it doesn't work for me. And I'm like, okay, cool. But for the vast majority of people, it's a great product. So
yeah, well,
and it works well.
I can speak from experience. These
by the way,
these are awesome. I definitely sleep better when I wear them. That's for sure. I have tested that theory because I saw a few comments on the website saying it took about 2 weeks for it to really take effect. And so I kept it. I wore it for like 3 weeks. I slept, and then I stopped wearing them for like another 2 weeks or whatever. And then I noticed there was a difference. There was different sleeping patterns that I had. It was more difficult for me to fall asleep not wearing them
Yeah.
than when I do wear them. So yeah.
And I just wanted to, give kudos to you. I mean, you were one of the, I think we're in the first five guys to kind of reach out and kind of support us and buy a product. So, I mean, I remember kind of being a little bit awestruck. I was like, frick, it's Joe Emilio. Like, I know you from YouTube. And I was like, I was kind of running around the office like, frick, this has got to be perfect. But I mean, it was fun and I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and you should actually thank Ramon Cabanag because all the Aerosphere ads on his channel, and then eventually I was like, you know what, I need to try this because I do video editing now, and I'm constantly in front of screens, and I want to protect my eyes, so it's quite important, and I want to support local. So Ramon says
Yeah.
they're good, so I'm gonna try them, and yeah, wasn't disappointed.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, he really helped us. So yeah, hats off to Ramon. He did great for us.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, I do recommend getting the nanotech glasses. You won't regret it. But there's other glasses on. I mean, we can see in the background right there. There's other glasses. Some people have been asking in the comments about. Let me ask you this one. So Voot says has a question for you. He says, "What advantage do they have over Ray-Bans?"
Okay, so that's a pretty good question. Ray-Ban's a fantastic brand, like a legitimately like really great brand. One because they use they have their version of lenses. I'm not too sure what they market it as, but it's a really high quality lens. So if you've got that brand, you've done very well. Um, they have what we call resonite, is kind of our equivalent, and it's basically it's a lenses are measured on what they call an AB scale, and it's how much light passes through a material and how clear it is. So it's like a clarity scale, and it goes from 30 to 60. So 30 being the entry level, and 60 being the highest you can get. So 60 AB is basically crown glass. It's ultra clear, and as far as I know, that brand is running a super high clarity lens. And so yeah, our resonite is at a 60 AB as well. And so it's a super high clarity. I think probably one of the best ways to show you is I've got two frames in front of me exactly the same. I've got the airborne frame. One's running what we call a thermonite lens, and the other one's in a resonite. So I'll just pop those up quickly and see if you can kind of have a look there. So very similar colors, but I'll show you something super quick. I'm just going to pop these lenses out because this is kind of where the lenses start to differentiate. And so you've got two blue lenses now, and I've probably just put fingerprints all over them. And it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the two, right?
Yeah.
But as soon as you get kind of close up, you'll see like a thickness, and then there's a bevel. And then one of the most important things is, you'll see now, is you get a little bit of flex on a thermonite lens.
Wow.
So there's a little bit of flex there. Okay. And on a resonite lens, you can probably see there's an edging. It's probably not great. You can see there's a little dark edge around it. That's that beveled section.
Yes.
And there's zero. You can stand on your head. You're never going to get that thing to flex. Okay.
Wow.
So a flexible lens tends to be of what they call polycarbonate. So what we call thermite. We market it as thermonite. But a flexible lens tends to be generally a slightly lower sort of optical quality. But then what you lose in optics, you gain in impact protection. You can imagine a slightly flexible lens is going to absorb energy. So those are some of the features. And then obviously that material is 100% protection. So it's going to block out 100% of UV light. So it's cheaper to manufacture, but it comes with a bunch of like really positive attributes: impact protection, UV control, easy to put a mirror on. But the optics are entry level. It's a 30, and so you jump up to Resonite. Now you've got a non-flex lens, and because those molecules are super stable, that optical quality is really high. So that'll be similar to not, if not exactly the same as the brand mentioned, but that's why they're so good. They've always run a really high quality optics, and it's commendable. That's, you're giving people really good optics. So I would say we're on par. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. So you basically have the same that Ray-Ban offers. It's just down to, I guess, this personal choice of style. Although I do see some aviators in the background. Am I correct?
Those are airborne frames. So it's kind of the ones that we've just demoed. It's not really an aviator. We don't have any wire frames at the moment. We've got some in the works, but nothing for sale right now.
Okay, cool. No worries. Look, I think, Voot says thanks, and he's got smiley face there next to it, so he's obviously quite impressed. Look, Jason knows what he's talking about. I think that's something that we can all see. I mean, how long have you had this business? How long have you been researching glasses? Like, has it been years, or is this new for you?
Yeah, so 2013 was when we registered the brand name. That was kind of when we went from Aerospace to Aerosphere. We were still running clothing until I think it was 2019. So it's only been the last 3 years that we've really kind of like focused on eyewear, did the pivot. But the mentoring underneath the lens technologist has been about 4 years. And so kind of that first lens and the first Marshall was, that was the first time I won't describe what he described those lenses as, because he's been exposed to like the really high end lenses, and he just said, we won't be dealing with that. And so I think he actually refers to them nicely as shields. He won't even call them lenses. He's like, oh, those are shields. And so there's sort of this veiled disdain for the material, but each lens material has its place. I wouldn't be taking Resonite out and to do mountain biking and things like that, or onto the shooting range. I'd definitely take a Thermonite. But yeah, so we basically, just to kind of jump in there is, we've got 3 lens materials. There's a ton more that we could offer, but it's over. And so we've got Tactonite, Thermonite, and Resonite. And Tactonite are crazy, off the charts, super high impact protection, and that's a middle of the road optics. So it's a 45 optics. It's super high quality optics, but it's crazy impact protection. So that's the kind of lens you take to the shooting range. If you've got a shell to the lens, it's not even gonna blink. It's going to do nothing. And so that's a super high end lens. And then Resonite is our sort of super high quality. That's a 60 Abbey. And then Thermonite is, it's for the surfer or the mountain biker who wants to go out and do some trail bashing. Take a branch to the face and not worry about glasses breaking and things like that. But it's entry level optics, and for that reason, so you don't have 4,000 to 5,000 rand glasses out getting hit by branches. That's kind of counterproductive. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's awesome. I got some more questions for you from the audience. Cameron asking, can you get clear Thermonite lenses?
Okay. You can, and we don't stock them at the moment. But you definitely can get clear Thermonite. So if it was going to be some kind of a prescription, we would be able to test that through our optometrist partner. Yeah.
All right, it's cool. And then joking atheist, always love that name. Has a question as well. Jokes aside, perhaps I missed it, but is there any scratch resistance, and what is the average lifespan of the glasses?
Okay, that's a great question. So you'll see certain brands will market scratch resistance, and certain brands do have proprietary information and techniques for that. Generally, though, most clear surfaces and mirror surfaces tend not to be 100% scratch resistant, but you'll tend to find things like lenses like resonite and tactonite, because they are lenses that are sort of slightly higher quality. They'll have what's called a hard coating applied to the lens after production, and that definitely helps. With scratch protection. I don't think you're ever going to find sunglasses or lenses that won't scratch. I think that's just then it's down to how the individual handles their product. But we tend to find, as the price point moves up, the sort of handling of that product gets a bit better. 300 Rand sunnies are thrown into a glove compartment or into a gym bag, and they start to look like they've been there. But 5,000 Rand pair of sunnies probably sits on the front seat and the wife sits in the back. But so it's some products like the resonite lens has a guaranteed shelf of 2 years. But I mean, I've got resonite lenses that I've had for 5 years, and they still look fantastic. Yeah, they've got a little bit of wear and tear on them, but generally they're as good as anything off the shelf. So, and it also, like I said, it just comes down to how well you look after the product. But generally, like a resonite lens, you guaranteed to get 2 years out of that for sure.
That's awesome. All right, so I got a lot more questions coming in about your products, which is great. So keep them coming in, guys. But the one thing that I definitely want to bring up now is Zach saying that he does. He says, I do combat shooting, but still I need something that stops light from affecting my eyes. Will your specially made glasses for shooting do that?
Yeah, so I've actually got a frame here. This is the Vortex frame. It's kind of like our tactical frame. It's a little out there. We push the boundaries a little bit on that frame, but this is actually. I mean, you can see the stickers on the end there. This was the first demo. We were literally taking paper, cutting out, seeing where the brand was going to fit, and that whole sort of thing. But this was the very first frame that we actually managed to get a tactonite lens into. So this took us a long time to figure out how to do that, because you see what's called a base curve. So the curve of this frame is about an 8, what we call a base curve 8. So the super high wrap frame requires quite a bit of technology to get a lens to fit in there without distorting the image. And then also the frame itself puts a lot of stress on the lens. So it took us quite a while, but so this frame now, if you put a tactonite lens in that, you've got probably one of the most kick-ass shooting frames in the country, if not on the planet. That's nice. We've got one customer wearing that right now, so we're pretty excited. It's about 3-4 months ago he ordered that, and we were kind of jumping up and down our first Vortex tactonite customer. But I think he had it for 2 days, and he actually sent me a voice message with just expletives because he loved it so much. So yeah, that's the only thing I would say. And I tend to do this because I'm super honest about everything we try and do. If you're going to be doing indoor and outdoor, because I know there's sometimes in the combat shooting they'll sort of do a breach and they go indoors and stuff. You're probably going to need to start looking at a photochromic lens, something that's going to go light in a dark space and then dark in a sort of sunny space. That we can do, but we're going to go back to the thermite then, which has got some properties, the price jumps a little bit, a lot. So because of that technology.
But that makes sense. That makes sense. That would happen. I'm definitely going to be buying one at some point because I am applying for a gun license. So I need to go to the shooting range. I need to practice. So I will maybe in the next year or so buy myself one of those. But I don't think I'll need it to go light and then dark. I'm not going to do combat shooting, just the basic one. And then Cameron asking Cameron, I wanted to bring up his comment as well because I think it's quite nice. He says, I can get a prescription pair of clear thermonite that will be the best day of my life because I can play rugby. What are the frames made of, and can a person use the glasses to play contact sports like rugby, etc.? Oh no, I may have lost Jason again. Oh wait, there we go.
Yeah, I think that we've just got a little bit of a lag there.
Yeah. Did you hear the whole question or? Sorry, Jason. Can you hear me? Jason. Can you hear me, Jason? Jason. Okay, let me try and get him to reconnect. Sorry, Cameron, I was just about going to ask your thing there, but I will ask it now once he comes back. There we go. All right. Hopefully, can you hear me now? All right, cool. So Cameron is just basically asking, can a person use the glasses to play contact sports, and what are the frames made of?
Yeah. So the frames are what we call TR90. We market that as extremis. TR90 is super strong. It's a Swedish polymer. You're never going to have an issue with that. If you take a thermonite lens that are clear, you can play pretty much any contact sport you want. You're not going to have any issues. And so you'll probably see, Joe, you've probably seen it when the who would you have watched? You would have watched Houston Rockets,
Mm-hmm.
the NBA team. You probably would have seen some of the players with a sort of a thermonite style frame. A couple of the forwards would have played with that, and that's specifically for impact protection. So, yeah, thermite lenses, you're good to go. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, even if you don't choose our brand, if you choose a product with a polycarbonate lens, yeah, you're good to go. You're good to go for impact sports. No problem at all.
Well, there you go, Cameron. But please use Aerosphere. Link in the description. Let me just also, there was a comment here that I also wanted to bring up. Okay, so Zach is watching. He's a very good supporter of the channel, and he watches me all the time. But he's in the States, so I don't know if you guys ship to the States. But he's saying, sorry, he's saying that if he can get a hold of your gun shooting glasses, and if it works for him, he's got people over there that will buy it. And he's saying, do you know how many people in the US will buy it? I can get you 6 sales if it works for me.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we do have, we ran the sale on the weekend, the 400 sale. I didn't expect the kind of support we did, so I was kind of, I had a busy weekend, and I just want to say thanks to the guys who jumped in on that. So, but yeah, we had a guy in Arizona that purchased, and so sending frames out to Arizona was about, it's between 30 to 9. And then that's tracked with DHL, probably take 5 to 7 days. But yeah, I mean, I think the trick there is, if you've got customers, that that are connected to each other, just put all the product into one and ship it once, spread that across. So, but I mean, if it was going to be a proper, business venture, then we definitely look at getting some forward holding points and get some stock over there. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the products, it's pretty kick-ass. I mean, I wear it for flying. I've got that lens for flying, and it's chosen specifically for that. If something comes through the windscreen at 250 k's an hour, I want to have additional protection, and that's for my eyes. So yeah, it's a super good lens.
Well, Zach says that, oh no, don't worry, he's coming to Cape Town in October, so maybe we should arrange a meetup and then have a nice discussion about it. And then at least he can also try it maybe
That sounds
while
good.
he's here.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So Zach, we'll definitely talk about
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean that's okay. Super.
All right. So he also says you can send it to my brother-in-law in Constantia. Okay, so there's options. Well, we'll definitely have a meetup with you, Zach, in October. I'm
Perfect.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jason would love to meet you as well, and you can try out the glasses for yourself. I'm speaking as if I own Aerosphere now, but I'm sure Jason doesn't mind.
Yeah. No, this is perfect. I'm sending over the staff shirt tomorrow.
All right, great. So yeah, we're almost out of time. But I think we've covered quite a bit about Aerosphere, who you are, where you come from,
Okay.
And what's coming up. I mean, the Mark II, I'm very much excited to see, or to at least hold those glasses for myself in my hand and wear them. And I need a really good sunglasses. So I'm very, very excited, when I drive and when I do other things. And then eventually, oh, there we go. There they are. Those are them, right?
Yeah. So let me show you super quick. This was the very, very first pair of Marshalls.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that, but my dog's kind of done a quality control on that frame as well. It was kind of super funky. We had a logo printed on that. I mean, it was so old. The logo still had the four white stripes and the little red square in it. We dropped that now. It's just the white. It's just the white X. But this was the original Marshall frame, and it was called the Marshall 3.0 because the Marshall eagle sees 3 times as well as a human. So it's kind of, we wanted an eagle name, and we wanted to kind of have some kind of reference for eyesight. So that was the original Marshall, and I kind of wore that till the new one came in. And then based on that, we went for, this was the original Marshall, the Marshall 3.0. So this was the first sort of production one. It's a fantastic frame. Super, super comfy. Had nice silicone tabs in the back, but some customers said, that caught their hair and wasn't so great. Also, we tend to find that the color on that dropped away, after some sun exposure. So we were like, okay, how can we improve that? And so, this is now the two generations. It's a lot sleeker. You can see the materials, a lot more premium. The logo is a metal insert logo, and so it's a fantastic frame. We dropped the silicone pads in the back, but we've still got the silicone nose pads, and it just feels more premium.
Yes.
But then with that soft touch texture, I kind of want to sleep at night with it. But I mean, it's a super frame. Fits fantastic. It kind of feels a little bit like a superhero accessory. So I'm very excited about this frame. And then we are looking at, because it's kind of a chunky frame, we are looking at a sort of a version for the ladies. So this is a very similar kind of frame. It's based on the Marshall. Also got silicone nose pads. It's basically a Marshall for the ladies.
Nice.
I'll put on, I've got a bit of a chunky head, but you can see that's a sort of low profile. a lot lighter, a lot smaller. So kind of that's something we're working on. But yeah, so we've got something for the girls, and then one little sneaky sort of thing that no one's really seen yet, but we're kind of working on for the guys who do Strava and
Ah,
go on the
nice.
mountain bikes and do running and stuff. We've got a nice sort of trail runner. Yeah, this is a sneaky little guy. This is something that I take out on the trails, and so yeah, it's kind of a super fun shape. Nice big lens, blocks out the sun. It accentuates the dome without the hair. But I mean, it's super fantastic for him. So that's something we're working on. But right now, all the focus is on the Mark II, and we're kind of super excited about that.
No, well, I'm excited for you guys. When I got the email that you guys are working on something new, I was very excited, and like I said, I cannot wait to get my hands on those sunglasses. They look so awesome, and I love the idea of the silicone nose feature there.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm gonna probably wear them every time I drive when I go out, especially in summer.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're very comfortable. So. And then I'll be a returning customer for the gun glasses as well.
Yeah. No, awesome. Happy to take your money, Joe. No, but I think we kind of it's a good trade. You're getting a good product. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I was blown away with the first pair, and I'm definitely a very happy customer. Well, with that being said, Jason, is there anything else you want to say that we may have forgotten about? If you feel you need to say anything, or at least tell people once again where they can find you. But like I said, I have linked your website in the description as well as your fundraising page in the description. But yeah, is there anything you want to say in closing?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we get this quite a bit. People say, "Oh, can I come to the store and can I come try glasses on?" We try retail. It's just another brand for the sales guys, and so we lose that. Our whole thing is, like I said, is that customer care, and so we've pulled it all back. It's direct to customer through the website. The way we get around, if guys are like, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to like the frame or not," it's 14 days. You buy the frame, you don't like it, you send it back, we send your money back, no questions asked. And that's kind of how we deal with I'm not sure it's going to fit my head, or it's the style that I like. And so the reason we've gone that direct to customers, we really want to control that brand experience, and it's super important to us. So from packaging to communication about the tracking, and we've had it where people like, I want this frame, and they get it and they're like, oh man, no problem, send it back, we'll send you another one. And we've had people love that about us. And so we're small, we can move, and we're a bit dynamic. And so and then I guess just on top is we've started a Strava club, so Aerosphere Strava club. And so if you're kind of out there and on the trails, and I know, Joe, you and I were going to go and hit Lion's Head soon. I think I've got 174 days to get ready for that. But yeah, I mean, you can join us on Strava, join the club, and we'd love to hang out with you guys and see what's going on. Yeah, and Joe, kudos to you, buddy. You're killing it there, man. And yeah, you just keep going. It's inspirational.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm trying the best I can, and I should be going to gym again on Wednesday. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check out Jason at aerospherevision.com. Sorry. Link is in the description. And one more thing, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a prescription lens, you can interchange. So you can tell Jason, look, I have these prescription lens, and he can put them in the frame. So for all the glasses, in case you are wondering. So Cameron says, thanks, Joe and Jason. I'll for sure get a pair. Well, there you go. Hopefully you're gonna have some customers soon coming to you, Jason. Once again, Jason, thank you so much for your time. It was great having you on the show, and you're welcome back anytime.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, keep up the good work there, buddy. Hey,
Thanks,
take care.
Man. Cheers. Good night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Jason Gray from Aerosphere Vision. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's a bit of a different guest on the show this time, but I figured, you know what, he's local. I love his product. I love his glasses. I cannot wait to get his Mark II glasses, and then eventually, when I'm at the shooting range, I will get the shooting glasses. And I think it's great quality, and I do believe in supporting local, especially if they have attention to detail and, like you said, customer based, which I can talk from experience. You know, he met with me, he gave me the glass, he said, if you have any questions, here's my number, let us know, and any feedback would be greatly appreciated. And you know what, he's been great ever since. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that stream. If you did, leave a like. Don't forget that you can subscribe to this channel. I will be back tomorrow evening with Nolu Maki and Big Daddy Liberty, as well as Koketsu Rosane, as we talk about absent fathers, the problem with absent fathers in South Africa. So that's going to be a very interesting conversation. You don't want to miss out on that. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I'll see you at the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Cheers.